Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shining a Light, Our History. A very special evening as we celebrate not only the illumination of one of Laredo's most historic landmarks, which is St. Peter's Plaza, but also honor the legacy of an extraordinary woman, Jovita Idar, with the unveiling of her historical marker, which is further down. Tonight, we come together to recognize the importance of preserving our history, also to celebrate the stories, the people, and the places that shape our city's identity. To begin our ceremony, I would ask everyone to please rise for the presentation of colors by the combined color guard of the Laredo Police and Fire Departments, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let go. Stand up. Carry. Up. Ready. Up. Forward. March. Mark time. March. Left turn. March. Reset.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're honored to also have many distinguished guests with us this evening, and at this time, I would like to recognize them first and foremost, our mayor of the city of Laredo and his wife, Dr. Victory Trevino and his wife, Ms. Rosa Marquez Trevino. Council member for District 3, the Honorable Melissa Cigarroa. Council member for this district, District 8, the Honorable Alisa Cigarroa. Representing Senator from Texas District 21, the Honorable Judith Saffarini. Is representing her will be Jessica Contreras. Representing Webb County Judge, the Honorable Tano Tijerina, is Cordelia de la Chica Valdez. Also with us is our Parks and Recreations Department, Juan Jose J.J. Gomez. And we also want to thank the Webb County Historical Commission Director, Jorge Santana, and all of the members of the commission who are also here with us. Thank you for being with us. And now we're going to hear from several individuals who each play an important role in honoring our history and also enriching our community. To begin, please help me welcome a leader who has continuously emphasized the importance of community, culture, and progress, our mayor, Dr. Victor Trevino.
Thank you and good evening, Dr. Victor Trevino, Mayor for the City of Laredo. I'm happy to be here to unveil the Jovita Idar Vivero historical marker. We're all aware of the history that has been told about this teacher, political activist, and journalist and civil rights worker. Most notably, a journalist, she wrote about several social problems and most notably racism, inequality and segregated education, and women's rights. She used her journalism to fight against discrimination and expose economic disparity and advocate for the fair treatment of Mexican American and women, including the right to vote and the need for bilingual education. But more importantly, she chose to use her talents to help the most vulnerable in our community and also in our sister city of Nuevo Laredo. As a fellow Laredoan, I'm proud to recognize her efforts and tributes to these notable causes because I remember a time and still believe that it is our duty to move forward in our humanity through good acts. So as we honor this great Laredoan and human being, we should use their contributions as a roadmap to help our community and stand up for those that may not have a voice so that we may all prosper and live in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we're going to hear from the driving force behind many preservation and cultural projects in our historical neighborhoods, which is District 8. So please help me welcome Council Member for this district, Alisa Cigarroa.
Good evening. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. So standing here, surrounded by neighbors, friends, and colleagues, I'm reminded that light has always carried meaning behind what our eyes can see. But beyond that, light is the language of hope. When I look around this plaza, I see the layers of our city's heartbeat, the joy, the struggle, the everyday rhythm of people living life together. What I have also seen over the years is what time and neglect can do to even the most loved places. How silence can replace laughter and how darkness can take the place of care. This moment tonight reminds us of what becomes possible when a community chooses to care with intention and collective will. The light that we celebrate tonight says one simple thing, that this place matters. It matters to the families who walk through it, to the children who play here, and to everyone who believes that a city beats strongest when its people feel safe, seen, and valued. For generations, plazas like this one have been the heart of civic life, where neighbors meet, where history unfolds, and where voices come together to shape the story of a city. So it's fitting that we also pause to honor a woman whose own voice shaped that story, someone whose courage and conviction continue to light the way forward. So just across from us stands a historical marker bearing the name of Jovita Idar. Jovita was not only a writer or a teacher, she was a voice of conscience in an era that tried to silence her. She believed that education could heal injustice, that words could build bridges, and that courage, no matter how small, could inspire generations. Her courage reminds us that progress does not happen through comfort. It happens when ordinary people dare to speak, to act, and to believe in the worth of others. And tonight we honor a woman whose light and legacy continues to guide us forward. So to those who have helped make today possible, to the historians who preserve our stories, and to our city staff who have worked tirelessly to bring this beautiful plaza, the lights that we will see tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, council member. We can't wait in just a few minutes to do that. We're honored also to have a representative from the office of Senator Judith Saffarini, the Dean of the Texas Senate. And on her behalf is Jessica Contreras, who will read a letter that she sent.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Contreras, staff representative for Dean Senator Judith Saffarini, who has requested I read a letter on her behalf. Dear friends, congratulations and thank you for the installation of the Jovita Idar historical marker in web. I am delighted to join you in honoring the legacy of Jovita, a pioneering journalist, educator, and civil rights advocate whose lifelong dedication to equality, education, and civic engagement helped build a more inclusive and representative democracy that is the lasting testament to her vision and courage. Were it not for a scheduling conflict, it would have been my pleasure to participate in this momentous occasion. I am delighted, however, that Jessica Contreras of my Laredo District Office is representing me and presenting a framed certificate of congratulations. I hope you consider it an appropriate memento of this memorable. My prayer is that the Lord will continue to bless you and inspire you to excel. Respectfully, Texas Dean Senator Judith Saffarini.
Thank you so much to our Dean and Senator Ms. Saffarini for that. Up next, I would like to ask our Director of Parks and Recreations, JJ Gomez, to also say a few words.
Good evening. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Especially for all of us here at Parks and Rec to always help out throughout the city, whatever we can to improve our quality of life, especially here downtown here at the plazas. I know Councilwoman has been a bit advocate about our plazas to improve them and make them better. As you're going to see later on a little bit, when we turn these lights on, this is something that she had in her vision. It took a little while, but we're finally going to make it happen tonight. And one of the things that she's always advocating to make, just with all the council members, but here for downtown to make it safer so that you can see kids later on in the evenings come, you see kids playing basketball here, people doing their walking. And that's what we want to promote here with the city, with the help of the mayor and the council members, that Parks and Rec can help in whatever we can do to improve our facilities, our plazas, whatever we can to make it better and safer for all the citizens of Laredo. So it's an honor to be here. I want to thank Mark Cruz, our crews from the Parks and Rec. I'm just the face of the department, but they come in from the electricians to the groundskeepers to all the guys that sit up here at the chairs. They do a wonderful job, and I can't thank them enough for everything that they do. We're glad to be part of this event, and we're looking forward to many more to come. Thank you.
Up next is the voice for local storytelling, and she's been doing this for years. I know her personally as well. Please help me welcome Margarita Raiza. She's also here on behalf of Miss Meg Guerra.
Good evening, everybody. It's wonderful to see familiar faces here. I am here representing Maria Eugenia Guerra, Laredo's own illustrious journalist. She sends her regrets. She could not attend today, and so she asked me to represent her. I will be reading her work. In the first decade of the last century, the journalist Jovita Idar, who wrote in La Crónica and El Progreso, the newspapers owned by her family, left a rich legacy for the power of the printed word and the role of women as advocates for social and political change. Born in 1885, she was a graduate of the Laredo Seminary of Holding Institute. After teaching briefly at Los Ojuelos, she returned to Laredo to take her place alongside her older brothers to find her voice in journalism. She was fluent in correct English and wrote in perfect Castellano. The 1910 census placed the Idar home at 1106 Hidalgo and noted the Idars were English speakers. Miss Idar was accorded no occupation in the census. Her brothers, Federico and Clemente, were listed as printers. At times, at the end of a story, she used her pen name A.V. Ave Negra, blackbird, or Astrea, the Greek goddess of justice. La Crónica had what every small community newspaper should have: the backbone to speak up and the temerity to invite the discussion of important topics, even unpopular and horrific ones like lynchings. Miss Idar's editorials excoriated racism, iniquities in the education of Mexico Tejano children, and civil rights violations. Decades before journalism textbooks set the formula for how a newspaper should serve its community, La Crónica, armed with the First Amendment, opened brechas through ignorance and resistance to change. The publication carried itself with dignity and purpose, a reflection of its principal writers. Miss Idar wrote in the August 10th, 1911 issue of La Crónica, quote, "Mexican children in Texas need an education. There is no other means but to do it ourselves, so that we are not devalued or humiliated by the strangers that surround us," unquote. While she was a relentless advocate for bilingual education and the retention of Mexican history, culture, and the Spanish language, she understood, too, the necessity for Mexico Tejanitos to learn American history and English. In October of 1911, Miss Idar founded La Liga Femenil Mexicanista, considered the first attempt in Mexican-American history to form a feminist social movement. Its purpose was twofold: the care and education of impoverished children and the education of women who sought to break from the domestic sphere to work in order to find financial independence. During the Mexican Revolution, when much of Nuevo Laredo was left in ashes and rubble after the devastating early January 1914 battle between the Carrancistas and Mexican federal troops, Miss Idar crossed the river to Nuevo Laredo to nurse the wounded Carrancistas, joining La Cruz Blanca, which her friend Leonor Villegas de Magnon, La Rebelde, had established. When Texas Rangers were dispatched to El Progreso in 1914 to rein in the publication's criticism of President Woodrow Wilson's decision to send U.S. troops to the border during the Mexican Revolution, Miss Idar reportedly had an eye-to-eye confrontation with members of the law enforcement entity known for its brutality to Mexicans and for all too often finding justice at the end of a rope. It is said she blocked their entry into the building. While the Rangers have recently refuted that account, they have not denied they later returned to destroy the printing press with sledgehammers. The 1915 edition of the Laredo Business Directory listed 5 newspapers in a city of 20,000 residents. La Crónica's address was 1108 Matamoros, with Miss Idar named as editor, and El Progreso at 1110 Farragut, with Gustavo Solano as its editor. In what I have read about Miss Idar since I first heard her name 30 or so years ago, and in all the pages of La Crónica and El Progreso that I have been able to access, I have never lost the sense of wonder about her. This spirited, truth-telling journalist in Laredo, Texas, possessed of a refined brilliance of intellect and the immutable courage of her convictions. In my own work as a journalist, I find inspiration in the stories she wrote and in the story of her life in El Periodismo. She set the bar high for journalists. Hers is a story that resonates still with her immense care for humankind and justice. Though history may have failed to recognize that Miss Idar was this city's first female editor of a newspaper, in 2020 the city's El Progreso Park was named in her honor. A century and a decade after she first became a journalist, the New York Times published her obituary on August 7, 2020. It was titled Overlooked No More, Jovita Idar, who promoted rights of Mexican Americans and women. In 2023, she became the face of newly minted quarter coins. When I think of a fitting tribute to Jovita Idar, it's that a university established the Jovita Idar School of Journalism. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Araiza. If maybe I'm allowed, I wanted to kind of stop real quick in the agenda, of course, with the permission of mayor and council members. I think we need lights, right? Just checking. Yeah. So maybe let's just all maybe we stand up real quick and we'll do a mini countdown. We'll count down backwards from 3 to 1 so that we can turn on all of the lights here at this beautiful historical plaza. Okay, are we ready? Yes? Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right. We needed lights so that we can continue with all of the other, you may be seated, with all of the other speakers, and also for our videos and pictures that we're taking as well. So we wanted to make sure that we had that. But how amazing, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I do want to also invite to speak our councilmember for District 3, Ms. Marisa Cigarro.
Well, I'm so honored to be able to speak in the light. Thank you so much for joining the city here today. I'm very honored to be here with you. And I think what this represents, not only a deep love for our history, celebrating an icon of Laredo that was overlooked for some time, but is not overlooked anymore. This also represents an investment in our downtown. You know, downtowns are the beating heart of a city. They define its identity. And ours is a bit tired and a bit neglected. I think no one has been a greater champion of changing that than your council member, Elisa Cigarron. But on behalf of this council, and I hope with the mayor's permission, we are making strides and we are looking to work harder so that we can make transformations, not just in this amazing historic neighborhood, but also in the rest of our downtown, in our riverfront, and everything that makes Laredo special. This is where Laredo began, from the Paso del Indio down to downtown, and our bridges, our incredible relationship with our neighbors and our relatives in Nuevo Laredo. It is important what happens in downtown. It is vital that we continue to push for progress, for transformation, for beautification, because our future generations need to understand and have pride in their past so that they are grounded and they can take advantage of all the opportunities that the future presents to them. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, council member. Our sister city, rather, Nuevo Laredo, shares much of our history as well. And tonight we celebrate that shared heritage. Please help me welcome Mr. Raimundo Rios Mayo, historian from Nuevo Laredo.
Pues ahora sí los veo a todos porque ya está prendida la luz. Gracias, buenas noches a todos. Gracias por la invitación, Jorge. Muy interesante la reunión. Sobre todo estaba pensando ahorita la fraternidad que debe de continuar entre ambas ciudades, Laredo, Texas y Nuevo Laredo. Gracias. Este es un comentario con relación a este evento. Agradezco la invitación para participar en esta importante reunión y referirme brevemente a la maestra Jovita Idar Vivero, egresada del Instituto Holding, destacando su labor referente a la era de la Revolución Mexicana, durante la cual se dedicó básicamente a promover los derechos civiles de los estadounidenses así como de los inmigrantes mexicanos radicados en Laredo, Texas, quienes carecían de privilegios. Este trabajo lo inició en el año de 1910 en el periódico La Crónica, editado por su padre aquí en Laredo, Texas, que incluía comentarios históricos referentes a los mexicoestadounidenses, ensayos literarios y poesía a la que ella era afecta. Posteriormente, en 1916, en unión de sus hermanos Clemente, Eduardo y Federico, fundaron el periódico Evolución. Durante su trabajo en los periódicos de su familia y en otras publicaciones, de 1910 a 1924, época en la que se desarrollaron batallas y eventos de la Revolución Mexicana en Nuevo Laredo, se dedicó a la defensa de los derechos civiles, promoviendo la educación bilingüe, basándose en el hecho de que un elevado porcentaje de los habitantes de Laredo eran generalmente de origen mexicano y requerían el conocimiento del idioma del país donde radicaban. En el mes de octubre de 1911 llegó a ser presidente de la Liga Femenil Mexicana, motivando a las mujeres a través de un plan de acción para tratar de aliviar los problemas sociales de esa época y lograr un cambio radical dentro de la comunidad, convirtiendo su Liga Femenil Mexicanista en una organización en beneficio de la sociedad, participando en política y contrarrestando la discriminación social y educativa para no perder el uso del idioma español y la cultura mexicana y del beneficio a familias de escasos recursos económicos. Destaco el hecho de que quedó manifestado en el manifiesto de la señora Leonor Villegas de Magnón, la rebelde, originaria de Nuevo Laredo y promotora de la Cruz Blanca, donde menciona en su libro que la mañana del 17 de marzo de 1913, al darse cuenta de una de las batallas en Nuevo Laredo entre integrantes del grupo constitucionalista y miembros del Ejército Federal, Leonor y su amiga Jovita Idar rápidamente integraron un grupo de mujeres para atender a los heridos de ambos bandos, hecho del cual surgió la Cruz Blanca, quienes con el apoyo de médicos y miembros de la Sociedad de Laredo, Texas, apoyaron esta organización, salvando la vida de gran cantidad de revolucionarios en el norte de México. Este año de 2025 ha sido admitida por el gobierno federal de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica mediante la acuñación de una moneda de 25 centavos americanos que está circulando en la actualidad como reconocimiento a la maestra Jovita Idar Vivero por su trabajo como periodista, tratando de lograr la libertad de expresión, promotora de los derechos civiles, creadora de la Liga Femenil Mexicanista, todo ello buscando un cambio social en nuestra comunidad. Este comentario nos da una idea de la vocación de servicio a la humanidad de parte de Jovita Idár Viveros, defensora de los derechos civiles en un lugar como ambos Laredos y en una época como la Revolución Mexicana, en que la fraternidad era indispensable para la sobrevivencia. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias al señor Ríos Mayo por todas esas palabras. And now to conclude our remarks, we welcome someone whose passion for preserving our county's heritage has made evenings like this possible as well. So please help me welcome Mr. Jorge Santana, Director of the Webb County Historical Commission.
I was very worried that the lights weren't going to be turned on, as I can see, but very happy that I'm going to be able to read this. First of all, welcome everyone. Thank you, Alexa, because I'm a resident of this neighborhood, and this plaza was a cave of darkness, and now it's a beam of light. And this has brought, I can see in the afternoons, families coming here and kids playing, and light always brings good things. And thank you. I believe Los Faroles, they look like they have been here always. And that's part also of preserving our history. It seems like they have been here since Jarvis inaugurated this plaza more than 100 years ago. Thank you very much. Today, with this historical marker, we are not just celebrating Jovita. We are honoring all the women whose names history tried to erase. All of them. The woman who thought without degrees, who led without titles, who fought without recognition. This marker is a mirror, a reflection that women have always been here, even if the world was slow to see them. Come old and come young, come starting your journey or at the end, come to this mirror, read this story. It's yours, it can be yours. We gather to honor a woman whose voice transcended time, gender, and injustice. Jovita Idar, journalist, educator, civil rights activist, and trailblazer. She has finally been recognized for what she has always been, a symbol of courage, resistance, and leadership, of compassion in times of division. Her face now appears in the U.S. quarter, and with it, her legacy is engraved into the hands of millions. What a powerful symbol, because each coin that changes hands carries with it the story of a woman who refuses to remain silent. Born in Laredo, Texas in 1885, Jovita grew up in a time when being a woman, being Mexican American, and daring to speak up was an act of defiance. But she didn't ask for permission. From a young age, she understood that education was a tool for transformation. She became a teacher, but quickly realized that the classroom wasn't enough. So she became a journalist in a profession dominated by men during an era that when women were not even allowed to vote. Through her family's newspaper, La Crónica, Jovita exposed injustice, racism, poverty, and discrimination against Mexican Americans in Texas. She wrote fearlessly about women's rights, defended bilingual education, and stood up for the dignity of her people, our people. When the Texas Rangers came to shut down her newspaper, she literally stood in the doorway to protect the press. She wasn't just ink on paper, she was fire. It was truth, it was resistance. She founded the League of Mexican Women, one of the first organizations in the United States to fight for the rights, civil rights of Mexican American women. Jovita was a feminist long before the word became part of her everyday language. Jovita helped heal the wounded during the Mexican Revolution fought across. She understood back then, more than we understand now, the importance of being true sister cities and how what happens here or over there affects everyone. That invisible fabric that would always join us together, that fabric that goes from one side of the river to the other, like the birds do, like the winds do, like our inclement weather does. That fabric that makes us strong, a powerful community, mixed, knotted, juntos siempre, y a veces también revueltos. I know that today, as we speak, more Jovitas are being born in this city, in these borderlands. More Jovitas are raising their voice, taking their fist high in the air. More Jovitas are holding office, are doing what only others were supposed to do. Jovita Idar is our mothers, our sisters. When a man shows respect to a woman, equality and admiration, that is Jovita Idar too. Now that the lights are turned on in this historic plaza, the only residential plaza in our city, now that the lights are on, come to this mirror. Look at it and see your fight. Read it and find the tools needed for a happy and successful future. This is not the past. Jovita is not the past. Jovita is where we are supposed to be going. Let's all move forward. Let's all move together. Juntos, que viva Jovita Idar. And if you can, right, join us. And the mark unveiling of Jovita Idar is right here. We don't have to walk a lot. So come together.
And now the countdown. Go ahead, sir.
3, 2, 1. Here joining me are the Historical Commission members. The Webb County Historical Commission is a volunteer group, and this is what we do. We investigate the stories that have to be told, people that have to be represented in these markers. And this is Jovita's story. And now you can walk around the plaza. It is so beautiful that now you can see everything, you know? Thank you.
Pues en vivo, don Raimundo, una muy buena placa que debía de haberse develado hace tiempo. No, y sobre todo por los antecedentes tan importantes que tiene sobre los dos Laredos. Así es. Mayor, unas palabras para Estéreo 91.
Sí, claro, esto es un evento muy importante porque esto significa las personas históricas que estuvieron en nuestra ciudad y que contribuyeron a hacer nuestra ciudad lo que es, especialmente los derechos de las mujeres y al hablar por nuestra gente aquí. Muy importante lo que hizo y esto debe de quedarse en una placa como esto y nunca olvidarse.
Queremos decirle que hoy dimos una vuelta por Downtown. Muchas gracias. Hay una gran mejoría y esperamos que así siga.
Y vamos a seguir adelante.
Muy amable.
Gracias.
Buenas noches.
Gracias, buenas noches.